We understand that the concept of theatre came into existence around 2500 years ago. It has been developing since and is present in all societies and cultures across the globe. It has been established, however, that theatre as an art form is different from performative elements in other activities. To understand the purpose and benefits of theatre as it is in today's world, we decided to interview someone with a growing passion for it. Nikhil Chaudhary, an actor and director of theatre plays, is a friend and inspiration to many stressed individuals who seek to live more fulfilling lifestyles and build or strengthen their professional and personal relationships.
If you know who we are, forward to today's topic. For those of you here for the first time, thank you for being here today. Kathas was created to bring hidden stories to life via a platform that focuses entirely on listening, hearing, and imaginative skills. Unexpectedly, our first season was a smooth flow of events and was appreciated well by our listeners. We had with us speakers from across the globe who shared their experiences and points of view on topics of concern. With season 2, we gained a more clear direction of how we wanted to go about Kathas. The intention ultimately is to bring stories of inspiration from around the world to our listeners in an easy to comprehend and condensed format. Kathas focuses on stories of art, different forms of art, and art used as therapy. A practice that we strongly believe needs to be introduced and encouraged from childhood. So, going forward, we will have two types of podcasts, the short ones and the interviews. Also, our blogs based on the podcasts and interviews will be posted on our Medium platform. Links will be available in the description below and on our website kathas.com. Okay then, let's get into today's topic.
The recent play, Welcome to Akalpur, was a wonderful adaptation of Neil Simon's Fools. So, what has been your strongest takeaway from this process? And also, what's...
Sure. First of all, Welcome to Akalpur is a Hindi adaptation of Neil Simon's play Fools. And it was originally adapted by Hemant Kathuria, who was from my college in 2009. And then I performed this play in college in 2017, and then I performed this play again in front of the Bengaluru audience recently in the month of April. And if I talk about the process, what has been the biggest takeaway from the process in the professional world, where I am also invest my time in the working life along with the performing arts. The biggest learning has been the time management between how to go about it, and the next biggest takeaway is managing both part-time actors and also the full-time actors, and even freshers and the experienced actors. So because when you come into the professional world, there are full-time artists, there are part-time artists, and both of them have their own attributes of joining the world of the theatre. For the part-time actors, it majorly comes from a perspective of exploring a hobby, and for a full-time artist, it might go into the financial angle also. So that has been the biggest learning, how to manage both sort of an actors within the same group, within the same play, and letting them extract whatever they want to extract from the play. So that has been the biggest takeaway, or I can say the achievement in the Welcome to Akalpur.
That's really nice. I really like what you said just now about letting them take away what works best for them. I think that is very important in every aspect of our lives, whether it's in school or college or work or even after retirement. An individual, whatever you're trying to help them with, you need to allow them to realize those things that works best with them. Because unfortunately, I see what happens is once you get into the flow of doing something in a group or following somebody, you tend to just generalize and move with the flow.
So you're not actually focusing on your individual self skills and talents. So that was wonderful. That's a wonderful takeaway from your own experience, which I think your team also must have definitely gotten. You've traveled through the journey of being an actor, and today you're a director. So how has it elevated you? And could you share a couple examples of your experience through this entire transformation? I'm sure the transformation is still ongoing, but please do share.
So, the journey from being an actor to director, first of all, I am still an actor. I am not just a director.
Okay.
And if I talk about my journey, initially I joined as an actor to basically improve my communication skills and diminish my stage fear. That was the main agenda behind joining as an actor, a stage play group in the college.
Mm-hmm.
Then later, when I was given more responsibility around directing a play, because I was a senior student in the college, and there was a cultural festival, I remember, by the name of Rendezvous,
mm-hmm.
where I was directing a play and it didn't clear the prelims. The prelims is just a pre-notion of depicting a play for like 10 or 15 minutes in front of the judges, so that they can actually take away some 5 or 6 final performance which can be performed in the full length. So that moment actually made me realize the importance of direction. Also, that direction is also very important because it was poorly directed by me, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
And then I started investing timing in watching plays, going outside of the college and watching professional plays, reading about some materials on direction, and then started working on the direction skills. And that one moment has been very helpful. Then another moment came when I went to University of Leicester for my summer internship.
Okay.
And they were just out of the boredom in the evening time. I joined the University Shakespeare Society, where I was just working in the production, not as an actor, not just as a director, but just as a production. And working with prominent directors and assistant directors over there made me realize the importance of production also in the direction.
Wow.
So these two incidents actually shaped me as a director very much. And then also I started realizing that when I was an actor, I had an individual perspective going forward into the story and about whatever being portrayed inside the story and even the message.
Mm-hmm.
But later when I started developing the director skills, at that time I realized that it is about the collectiveness of the society. The story is a reflection of the society. It doesn't come from your individual perspective. It comes from a lot of people, because a lot of people get involved in designing a play, from actors to production team to script writer and directors and even the audience.
Mm-hmm.
And this combinedly create an atmosphere of collective perspectives around a story, around a play, around a message.
Right.
And that which is something which I have learned as a director, that it is not just about your individual perspective, it is about the collective perspective around the reflection of the society which is being portrayed inside the play.
That's interesting. That's actually very interesting. So in regards to when we talk about society and plays, now we believe any form of creative incorporation can optimize lifestyles and deconventionalize standards or norms that society has set over generations already. All of this when it's done right, of course, but at the same time, there is a stereotypical thought process when it comes to an artist. Even today, society, when you talk about being a theatre person or a musician or a painter, what is your take on that?
Okay, coming to the stability of the life. Okay, I'll share my own individual perspective on this. I'll cover both of the aspects. Coming to the emotional front, I might quite agree or disagree with whatever you have actually asked me.
Mm-hmm.
But I think being a theatre artist has actually improved my emotional intelligence in the world. If I only compare me in the professional world, along with whatever I do in the performing arts world, I think the performing arts world has actually kept me sane, to be honest.
Right.
And it has also contributed towards a greater mental stability for me.
Mm-hmm.
And coming to the financial stability, of course, there is no end in the financial stability. Wherever you will be, you will I think you always will feel that you're financially unstable.
Right.
And coming to the theater artists, since I have worked with for both part-time and full-time artists, so I can take their example. And for the full-time artists, what I believe that they try to be less materialistic as less they can at that particular moment, because that keep them financially stable also, and also little bit stable through their own mental dilemma which they are facing around their own society. So that is the thing which I think personally, that both mental stability and financial stability could be achieved being an artist also in the society, but it has some parameters that whether it has to be related to, for example, if I take an example, that financial stability in our society comes with like having a good prominent house, a good car, and those sort of a thing. But if you delete those materialistic things from your own mind, then I think artists are also very good at the financial level. And most importantly, from my own personal perspective, I have actually acquired more mental stability through the performing arts rather than diminishing it. So yeah, that's all about it. Both sort of instability.
What about drama and plays and theatre life is thought of as healthy for both actors and the audience? And I'm trying to understand this from a theatre community perspective. Why is it that people get involved? Why is it that people want to come and watch? And how does it benefit them in any way?
True. So I talk about the answer from two different scenarios. One from the perspective of the participants who are actually participating in the theatrical world, and then second from an audience perspective.
Right.
So from a participant perspective, what I feel that drama is not an art which can be performed merely inside a room. You can involve yourself in music within your by having your own time, and similarly the artwork like painting and other stuffs. But when it comes to drama in the theater, you need a community, because you have to design a play. Even if you are playing a solo act, for example, if you're playing alone as an actor, then also you required some sort of a group who could be in the production team, who could be in the ticket sales and marketing team, and also act as a stage manager over there. So it becomes a group activity, and that's why I feel that theater works as a community and not just an art form which can be performed merely inside your own space. And theater gets completed when it is performed in front of the audience. And that's where the audience also becomes the part of this little community which we form over there. And in today's world, what I feel that it's more than a requirement nowadays, because we are moving towards a more stressed world with lesser and lesser human interaction in the real world. And that is why I feel that people want to engage themselves in more activities which could give them a sense of a community in the real world. And that's why I think the people come and join us, and other theatre societies also around the world. And this is why I feel that theatre can definitely act as a tool of living a healthy life for both actors and the audience also, because the audience also take away something very, on a realistic terms when they come and watch the play without having a screen in between, without having a technology in between them, and they can directly, channelize their energy with the people performing on the stage on a live sense. And this can also be taken as an example if you talk about the people, if they in the professional world, whether they like to interact with each other on these sort of platforms like Google Meet and Zoom, or rather they would like to talk in face-to-face to achieve a better productivity, and they will say that like face-to-face interaction is much better. And similarly, in the performing art world, theatre becomes a prominent tool to act as a community in the real world, where not just participants, even the audience can interact with each other.
In the news, there are articles around on the website where they mention that certain East Asian countries have adopted creativity as a medium for sharing knowledge versus the textbook style. And in fact, in India also, there are a lot of private schools who are adopting these kind of practices. Concept of theatre, being part of the theatre, being an audience to theatre, plays and dramas, can it become a medium of education with a stronger foundation for developing productive thought process or self-reliance, more importantly, adaptability, and, as a consequence to that, leading more fulfilled and happier lives?
This is something which I have always believed, that theatre can definitely act as an education medium in the school itself, and not just theatre. I mean, the performing arts also, because performing arts are just act like sports in terms of few important skills in life, like for example, like team management and thinking about as a leader, and also building empathy with the society. And I think that what theatre has given to me the most is building empathy towards the society, which has been a greater learning from the theatre. And if you remember, we used to have a subject like moral science in our school days,
right?
And theatre has actually acted as a moral science for me since I have started learning this art form. And this is why I believe that it can definitely act on the moral values and the principles at school, where they can learn a lot about the society, reflection of the society in a very honest and truthful manner. Because whatever we read on the textbook, if we can actually think about it, and if we can actually think about from a perspective where we have to think what has been portrayed in the text, especially in the subjects like history, where we can actually learn what sort of a environment should have been over there, and use our own imagination to think about the typical scenes that have actually shaped the history of the world.
Right.
And that can definitely be taught through the medium of the theatre. And also, like I said before also, that if we are going to get involved as an art form where we can sit as a community in our own, in very very early days of our childhood, I mean the school, definitely that can help us to remain more human in the world currently, and can also keep us little bit sane in the world going forward with more stress. Right now the school kids are mostly involved in sharing the screen time rather than sharing the human interaction, both in the field of sports also and in the field of performing arts also. And I think the theatre can definitely act as an education medium in those sort of attributes, like building empathy with the society, learning few team management sort of a skill, and also thinking about the society as a collectiveness, and also enhance human interaction, because that's the key which make us more productive, I guess, and even happier in the world. I think if you think about one common entity which actually brings us together and share each and our own perspective on any matter, is the human interaction. And if it falls within the school arena, then it can definitely create an environment of the happiness.
Over the years of practicing education by the textbook, there will be some sort of resistance, because it will require flexibility by the teachers. They need to be open to this sort of way of teaching. They need to receive training for that also. Have we gone that far with the theatre community? Are you thinking of anything in that line?
So yes, I mean, we are planning to initiate some sort of a corporate theatre, because what is corporate theatre is actually where you can actually act a scene in front of the professionals, where they can actually see what happens when someone has a little bit less emotional intelligence, and the things can go sometimes right and wrong, depends upon that. And they could be like self-written stories, successful stories also from the corporate arena, and even the failure stories also. So that is something which we are trying to initiate by incorporating our own methods with the corporate world. That is one. Second is we are also looking towards a different sort of an art form, which is a street play, which is termed as Nukkad Natak, where we can go in among the audience and try to give them social message by creating our own script. And that is the second thing. And third, I would like to quote an example of Ashmita Theatre Group in Delhi. If you study about the group has evolved in the similar way. They have participated with many NGOs, schools, colleges, and now they are being invited by all these sort of organizations to come and perform over there. And what is the key takeaway by both students and the faculties in these schools and colleges, that they have tried to incorporate those interaction, the level of interaction with the students in their own classes. Because if I remember, I was doing a course of Indian fiction in English translation at my college, and one of my professor, she used to teach that subject, and she was very she has a different sort of an interaction with the student, where she kept like 5 to 10% of the marks, where the student have to perform that particular story at the end of the course. And it was not a purely the theatrical course, but there were stories from prominent writers like Munshi Premchand, Rabindranath Tagore, short stories, and you have to perform at the end to get those 5 to 10% of the marks. And it has created a different sort of an world of teaching. And I remember that the students enjoyed a lot that particular course. Even the professor was very friendly and very good in terms of interaction. And those sort of a role plays I have actually started seeing, especially in the humanities department, because I come from a technological college, more towards the engineering perspective. But the humanities department has started open up those sort of education medium where they can interact with the student by creating an environment where students can come up with a role play with the stories being told in the subject, or even with and even by creating a sort of a like team, one team, second team, third team, and they can interact with each other and challenge in their own role plays. I also remember a time where there were two teams around cryptocurrency. So we were given the role play of being an ambassador from each and every country, and the setup was like a United Nations sort of a setup, international organization, where we have to speak our own perspective on crypto by researching what has been in talk in our own country, the policies and everything, and then we have to present by doing a role play. And these sort of interaction are just the theoretical activity, if you see. So those sort of thing have actually started being incorporated in the world of education also. And that is where I think it becomes a very good medium to interact as a whole community within the class and the schools and even at the NGOs.
I'm so happy to hear that you are well informed and involved in these kind of activities, and I wish you all the best going forward. Is there a time where we can expect your next play to be coming out?
Yeah, first of all, thank you very much, Pallavi, for inviting me for this podcast. And The next play is The Daughter Who is Sylvia by a very prominent writer, Edward L.B., and it will be performed in the Bangalore itself on 29th of May. By the end of this month. And I am also acting and directing that play because that is a 4 actors play, not a very big cast, but and it's a dark comedy, and it will be performed at Vyoma Art Studio in the Bangalore on 29th of May.
Nikhil's experiences through life and his theatrical journey is a story worth sharing. Much like him, millions of people around the world understand the benefit and need for creativity to be the primary medium of learning and teaching, especially for our future generations. If you have a point on this, do connect with us. We'd love to have a chat.
Kathas associates with mental health centers and art institutions or studios to create a wider audience for expressive art therapy. Expressive art therapy is something that needs a stronger platform to become an intrinsic part of life now and in the future. So we look forward to volunteers to join us in this mission. Like, share, and connect with us. We are a global platform, and your active engagement will help not only build a strong community, but also your contributions to your own communities. Expertise is not a key requirement here, it's just pure intent. Art is fun. It is within us. It is us and our expression. Healthy expressions could be one of the most organic strengths of our being. Currently, we are working with institutions and centers from India and Canada. If you have suggestions or ideas, do share them with us. Until next time, take care and spread the love.